Hey legends, today we're back for another playthrough, a nice and quick one today, giving you an idea of how to play the exciting new ultimate golf format, the Golf Grand Prix. Now we've got 3 holes today, all from Harbour Town, playing from the middle tees and with some interesting clubs in our bag. So we've got Battering Ram 10, Stingray 4, Extraterrestrial level 5, Cyclone level 6, Hypnotic 7, Ninja 5, and Scarab 7. Now, most of us probably haven't used this mix of clubs since our early days in the game, or at all. In a couple of cases for me, I've never used a Cyclone or a Scarab. So let's go out and have a bit of fun and see how we can go with this set of clubs in our bag. Now today I'm going to show you all 3 holes. We've got 2 drops and 1 very close miss that I'm going to explain a decent way on how to fix that one up. So let's go ahead and have a look. Okay, so our first hole is a par 4, and this one, there's a couple of options here that I thought about. One of them would be to use pins to get right up to the edge of the rough, the sand, or maybe even into the rough. But I'm going for a blast drive here, and we're going to try and get out on the fairway and have a wedge approach coming in. But you'll see on this first attempt, big great ball, and Battering Ram is a very low accuracy club. So what happens? I end up in the sand. Now the good thing is the caddy numbers and the wedge ruler are really tight. So I'm going to go ahead and play this one out because I'm pretty confident when I'm taking this shot that I can still drop it as long as I can hit the ultimate shot. So for those of you who've got the caddy, you'll be able to go ahead and set up your shot if you end up in the sand like I did. Set it up very similar to what I've done here, just with the tip of the guide after the second bounce, pretty much running up to the cup. Then you can go ahead, enter your wind value, line your shot up, and then we can go and measure our shot. And you'll see once I start that process that we get a really nice look at this one. So we're zooming all the way to max, lining the tip of our triangle on the avatar up with the black line, entering our 3.9 mile an hour wind, and we're going to measure our shot, which comes out to be a 78% Scarab. So not a high percentage shot this one, but still fun to have a crack with anyway, especially, as I said, we don't use these clubs very often, so it's good to see how they play too. Alright, so a 2.76 pull here. I'll just do a last minute double check. A little bit far from the cup, so I go up a tiny bit further. So you want that the tip of the guide after the second bounce, just coming up into the cup, as I said. We've got a 2.76, so a 2.75 adjust. The way I pull this is to go, now remember, always through the center, but I find my half ring first, and then I visualize half of that again and go out to that point. That's my 2.76. I line it up through the center of the circle, pull my shot, and pray to God that I hit ultimate. There we go, we've got the ultimate shot. Let's see it come in straight at the cup, and look at that. Nice eagle, solid numbers, so you can be confident that the wedge rule is going to help you out in those kind of settings. But let's go and do another look at it without the without the error into the bunker, and I'll show you how the wedge plays. Okay, so after that first error, I was second guessing myself a little bit. I wanted to reduce the wind just so there wasn't as much chance of me finding that bunker again. So I'm using full left, full top, and what I'm doing here with my drive is to aim for the fringe just near the rough line, so just onto the fairway, making sure when I look back at the shot that I'm not pointing at the rough with my wind direction. Pull to full overpower and left curl, and then I'm just going to try and hit ultimate, we get the ultimate shot. And we're going to take note of the drive distance here because I'm going to give you guys some numbers for the non-caddy users. So 283.8 yards. So let's say 284 yards. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use full backspin on our Hypnotic 7 here. And we're just going to take a bit of a look at the ball guide. Now, when I was sweeping around the hole here, there was a couple of times that I noticed the guide tip after the second bounce. See that pop up there? So there's a couple of spots that you can see there's a little bit of a hot spot. Now, that tells me that anywhere closer than that is probably going to be a very hot shot coming in. So I spend quite a bit of time here looking for that spot again. Just going to go ahead and fast forward through to the point where I find it. So we come back here a little bit. So what I did was basically sweep up and down the cup until I find that again. You'll see it rests on that extra spot there. You can see the guide. Now, I've got a right to left pretty strong angle on that wind, right to left headwind. So I want to set it up just on the right edge of the cup. And you can see that the guide tip, we'll go back there, the guide tip is pointing straight at the flag. So that's the guide tip for the third bounce. I want to put that right into the cup and I'm just on the right edge. Now we're going to go ahead and measure our shot here. So remember our drive was about 284 yards, which we're going to measure out here in a second. You'll see that equates to, I think it was 78 or 79%. 79% distance, which will give you just doing the maths now. So that's wind divided by 1.235 for anyone who doesn't have caddy. So if you get yourself to a 284 yard drive, you can be pretty confident to use that number in your setup. So wind divided by 1.235, which gives a 2.6 pull. We go and set up our pull here, do our adjustment, make sure we settle as close as possible to the middle. Now this one I had a little bit of trouble finding it, so I just settled as close as I could to the V in the tip of the bounce there. Happy with that now. We'll go ahead and take the shot. And you'll see it comes in very nice, right into the center cup for a nice easy eagle. So that's the better play on this hole. Let's go ahead and have a look at the next hole. Okay, so for this next hole, I had a bit of a look around. There's, again, a couple of options here. You can play with a power pin and get into short iron range. Or in this case, I've gone for a gold backspin pin because, like many people, I've got a lot of these sitting around, and I think these kind of tournaments are the ones where you want to save them for because you're going to get clubs with less backspin in your bag. So what we've done here is gone 13 rings from max, as I said, with a gold backspin pin. We've gone full backspin and half a bar of right spin, and that's just from knowledge of this hole needing a little bit of right kick. And you'll see that I line it up just with the right edge of the flag. I thought this might be a little bit of an overpull, this club, but you'll see that it comes in pretty much exactly on the spot that I wanted it to, and then with the lower backspin, a little bit of extra rollout. So what you want to do is probably look at where I've set it up in the same spot, but then just take off one tick of side spin, not a bar, just a tick, one click of the ball. So here we've got a 1.78 adjust, which is wind divided by 2.35, or closer to 2.36 for the non-caddy guys. We go and do our adjustment, and you can see that it comes in, it looks very nice coming in this one, but just at the last minute it kicks off to the right. So we're just making sure that we get to the 1.78 here, doing my pull, and you can probably offset a little bit of the error too if you use a higher wind resistance ball, but we just went for a trophy ball here. Ultimate shot, as you can see, it looks good coming in, just misses on the right edge. So what you would, as I said, when you're setting up that shot, we're 13 rings from max with a 10% power ball, full backspin with a gold power pin, with a gold backspin pin, half a bar of right spin, line it up so that it's pointing at the right edge of the flag, and then just take off a tick of right side spin. And hopefully that should get you pretty close to the cup. All right, so now onto the last hole, and we've got another drop here. Okay, so we've got another short par 4. This one's a fairly straightforward hole. Basically, we're just aiming to get it as far up there as we can. We've got a Ninja in our bag, which is a nice, accurate rough iron if you end up in the rough. I went for an 11% ball just to get me right up there. Bit of a wild, great ball, but it didn't matter. Runs me up all the way into the rough. And you'll see we're pretty much in no adjust range here. We end up having to make one tick of adjustment. One thing as well to keep in mind, and this is really important, is that the amount of shot view on the Ninja 5, I think, is 76%. So you're not getting the full shot view like you will with the higher end rough irons. So you want to leave your guide tip a little bit short. And you'll notice that even though I've got all that left spin on there, it still curls a little bit back around to the right. So what I did was to aim just to the left of the cup, but still at the flag, just pointing a little bit to the left of the flag. Now, I'm almost within the circle, but not quite. So it's just outside no adjust range here. I just go and quickly run my ruler just to make sure that I've got the right adjust here, because I'm not used to a Ninja 5. So in a 3.4 wind, I've got a 0.2 adjust here, which is literally one tick. So you can just go ahead, line it up, pull one tick back. There we go. So that's it. We've got our one tick. We can go ahead. I just did another double check just to make sure I hadn't found a hot spot and jumped off to the side. We go ahead, hit our shot, hit ultimate, and straight in the cup. Now, you could probably use power pins here, so maybe a gold ball pin and a gold club pin. You might actually be able to get onto the green here, I think, which might be important with the tiebreaker requirements in these shorter formats. So if you feel like you want to go ahead and do that, by all means do. But there you go. Nice easy play through for a -5. That's going to make you the cut in most brackets. Get out there, have some fun, enjoy these clubs that we don't use very often, and best of luck, guys. Cheers.